Good day, everyone, and welcome back to Let's Play Star Trek Online. My name is Mbagalo, and with me once again is...
Megalomaniac, hello internet.
Good day. So last time we basically saved a bunch of colonists that were being harassed by the Borg, and this week Cryptic released Season 8.
Which we're not going to show
Oh
you right now.
yeah, which we probably won't show anything on for actually quite a long time. One of the things we are actually starting to discuss ourselves is how we're going to handle endgame content once we finish the story missions on the Federation side. Right now, what we're currently leaning towards is going once we finish the last of the Federation missions, is going on and doing the other factions story missions, and then come back and do endgame content once we have gotten all the stories. But we are certainly interested in hearing what folks think about this and what they would prefer us to do. For now, though, I'm changing ships once again. This time I'm going to fly the Chimera Heavy Destroyer for this set of missions. The Chimera Heavy Destroyer is a unique ship designed by Cryptic, and it's awarded as the 1,000 day veteran bonus to those who have subscribed to Star Trek Online for that long, or buy a lifetime subscription, which I should point out is currently on sale.
Oh, like $200.
Yeah, uh, gets you a whole gets you all the veteran rewards right away, plus allows you to make liberated Borg captains.
Cheaper than a PS4, people.
That's right.
Still too expensive
Anyway,
for me, though.
yeah. Anyway, I've already changed to that, so let's head back out to sector space and meet up with Mecha, who's probably already outside of our next mission area.
I sure am.
Yep.
Yeah, of the veteran ships, actually, if I'm remembering them all correctly, the Chimera is probably not my favorite. I forget what the Klingon one
Yeah.
is, but I really like the Romulan one.
The Romulan one looks real nice. All three of the veteran ships are basically the same. They have the same ability and pretty much the same stats. The real difference is, come on. The main difference is just their design.
Yeah.
So the big gimmick of the 1,000 day veteran ship is that um, they have a special ability, which you probably are not surprised about, to be honest. But what the special ability
Madness.
is, yeah. But what this special ability is that they come with a console that puts them in a different mode depending on whether you activate the console or not. If you Normally they are in what's called regenerative mode, which gives them +5 auxiliary power and +30 shield healing, I believe. I'd have to. Let's look at the console. Where did it go? Here it is. Oh, it doesn't say on there.
We'll just assume you're right, and you can annotate it if you're wrong.
Yeah. So it gives +30 to some shield stat. Uh, and it also activates a special weapon which drains. Is it this one here? It drains shield energy from nearby enemies and adds it to yourself. If you use the ability, you move to tactical mode, which gives you +30 starship targeting systems, which is basically accuracy, and +5 weapons power. So it basically converts you from you could basically call it a recovery mode, a defensive mode, and moves you to a very offensive mode. And when you're in tactical mode, you also get a special weapon in there called the Phaser Lotus, which is basically a fire at will at a bunch of enemies that are around you.
Death Blossom.
Pretty much.
And it physically transforms too, right?
I think it does. I mean,
Like the ship
we
design
will,
changes.
yeah, we will see in a little bit because it's not going to be, it'll be easy for me to show it off.
Yeah, we'll be fighting stuff, so.
Yeah, so I can pop it. I can pop it once we get into this map. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the look of the Chimera, mostly because I'm not a big fan of that, like the big like underslung dip on it. I think that looks kind of dumb. I also need to rearrange my bridge cruise. My bridge cruise thing is just sticking out a little bit weirdly.
Because this game is not good about carrying over your quick bars.
Well, no, like I've fixed that at least. No, it's just that the. Oh, okay. Okay, that should probably do it. That didn't quite do it.
Hi down there.
Alright, that did it better.
You were like right below me.
Yeah.
You and... Oh, he disappeared. I was going to read it.
Okay. So, I might as well pick up this next mission. So we're going to go back up a ship that's out here in an area that has known Borg activity.
I don't know if you can see it on your screen, but there's like a Borg cube just floating right near us too. So
yeah,
no Borg activity.
There's a bunch of Borg just floating around us. Anyway, let's begin this mission.
By the way, it's called State of Q.
I wonder what.
No points for guessing who shows up.
Yeah, I wonder what's up with that. Oh, also the Chimera does have a effect where once you warp in or out, when you warp out, the nacelles close up, and when you warp in, the nacelles open. I think it looks pretty nice.
It was pretty cool. Very Voyager-y.
Yeah, the Voyager also has that ability. There's a bunch of ships that have moving nacelles for stuff like that. It is also, for those who don't like that effect, it is also possible to turn it off in the options.
Oh, right. I should launch fighters.
Probably.
Huh.
That would be useful.
Well, maybe. For reasons we're about to see.
Oh, it turned out that there were in fact some Borg here, as people are clearly noticing. So
yeah, just a few.
It's a good thing we came when we did. Especially since the ship we came here to save is one of these stupid-looking. Okay, there we go. So Q did not like. Yeah, Q did not like what we did, so he is resetting time and having us start it over again.
He wants us to save it with feeling.
Yeah, and in fact, the mission objective now, in fact, says with feeling. Anyway, this is probably a good time for me to pop into tactical mode, which no, I don't think it has a visual effect.
Aw,
yeah,
cool though. Turned to like a giant humanoid robot with a huge cannon as an aircraft carrier.
I think you may be thinking of a different ship. Oh wait, actually no, the forward saucer actually opens up.
Oh, okay. It's kind of cool.
It looks better. Like there's a bigger effect on the other ships.
So now he wants us to do it one more time.
Yeah, Q is once again not impressed.
Like our life depends on it. Oh, there it goes.
Yep.
Take it. It's kind of weird, acts weirdly in multiplayer.
Yeah. Oh, so yeah. So for folks that are watching the video, you can see sort of orange lines around the edge of my ship. That's where it opens up when you go into tactical mode. And since there's a bunch of probes here, Let's turn around so I can face them, and then fire off the phaser lotus.
I will refrain from blowing them up.
No, it clearly did not like how I was flying while I was doing that.
Oh. Well, there'll be another chance later, I think.
Yeah. I think we have one more. Alright, no. Fire, come on. There we go. Yeah, so that's what the phaser lotus is. It's basically just a rapid fire of phasers fire at up to, I think, 3 enemies in the same within that area of fire. Unfortunately, like all special ships abilities, it has a ridiculously long cooldown.
Yeah, it's kind of a shame.
Now, instead of engaging the Borg sphere, the mission objective actually wants us to stay near the Copernicus.
My fighters don't know that, so they're just flying off toward it.
And then we get a floating message. Intense, isn't it? Watch as this Borg cube slowly creeps towards us.
Reinforcements have arrived.
Oh, they... And Cube berates us for getting help.
So now he has to even the odds.
Yep. I need to fly by and confirm before it gets blown up. Oh, no, that's kind of weird. They have a ship here that they claim is an Avenger class cruiser, but it doesn't have the right model. That's probably referring to like an old name or something.
Probably.
Alright, so that cube is not dying.
No. Borg have God mode on.
Yeah, well, technically the mission objective is still stay near the Copernicus, so we should probably just... Oh, there we go. Now
and there
Q
is, in fact, Q floating in space.
Yeah, he is finally upset with what's going on.
He's upset. We're the ones fighting the God mode Borg.
So, he's... For those who may be wondering, this is not actually the John Delancey Q. This is supposed to be his son.
Yes.
This is supposed to be Q Jr. because they couldn't get John Delancey. So
sad.
Yeah. In fact, in case it is not obviously clear, there is actually a dialogue thing here where he talks about Aunt Kathy, which should actually clue it in for you.
If you watched that episode of Voyager.
Yeah.
And I can't blame you if you didn't.
Anyway, so why is Q bothering us, and why is he wearing that stupid outfit?
Well, that's what Q wears.
Q has only worn that twice.
Yes, and it's very Q-ish. Would you rather he be in Confederate Civil War era attire? I know I wouldn't want to see him like that.
Well, I think it would be amusing if he was doing that and wearing a Starfleet uniform, though.
Yeah, that would be funny.
Okay, there we go.
Okay, so, yeah, now he just wants to get on with it.
Yeah, so let's...
Because, he's not talkative.
Yeah, so let's get on with it. So basically what's happening is he is sending us back in time.
Because he's a dick.
Yeah.
He is in fact sending us to
the
USS Saratoga at the Battle of Wolf 359, which, for those of you who haven't seen the first episode of Deep Space Nine, is the ship that Sisko was stationed on, and he had to evacuate it, and his wife died on there. And the ship was blown up.
Yeah. So we're here to make sure things basically go the way they should be.
Which is to say, make sure Sisko's wife dies and the ship blows up. That said, any ship named the Saratoga is the fleet bitch. as both
Something like
as both this Star Trek 4 and Space Above and Beyond all prove.
that. The look of this new rifle is actually pretty nice. I'm using one of the Voth anti-proton rifles from the lockbox right now, because I happen to have a few spare ones.
Now, I forget if these Borg do the modulation thing, but I'm going to melee them anyway.
I don't think these ones do, because these ones are... So, in series, in STO, they justify the fact that the tutorial Borg don't and the endgame Borg do by it being advancements in Borg technology. So because we are in the past, they clearly would not have those same advancements.
Yeah, I would have really liked if they went the extra mile and just made them like the Gimp suit Borg instead of the Cyber Zombie Borg. I would have found that really amusing.
I think these do have, like, the Borg that they are using here are, these are not the full on zombie ones. These are the ones that are wearing suits.
Yeah, but they still have that first contacty look.
Oh, well, yes, that is
I just
true.
mean like full on, like, you know, early '90s special effects Borg.
Sure.
So
They did specifically make two different styles of Borg for the game, though. The full on zombie with parts missing Borg from that we see in the endgame stuff, and the this suit style that we have here and in the tutorial. I like that they did that.
That is a nice touch.
Yeah, I mean it's one of those nice touches along the same line as them having the two different Klingon styles, which is also a very nice touch.
Yeah, well, their character editor is probably responsible for that, because, as we've mentioned before, it's pretty good.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of those parts are available for players, though.
Not the Borg ones, but Matt.
No.
Actually, that's a good question. I wonder if you can make a TOS era Klingon.
Oh, okay. Theirs, though, is a... I think this is a bit of a bug. Or it's a specific reference, because there's a regular Borg that does have adaptability. That actually may be part of the point being made here. Oh, but then given the name that Borg had, I think that might have been just a bug. We'll find out in a little bit, I'm sure. Meanwhile, we need to hold our ground here.
Which basically means kick the crap out of any Borg that show up.
Yep. Absolutely.
Or they will be upgraded.
Okay.
Cryptic should totally, like, somehow get a hold of the Doctor Who license and, you know, do Doctor Who crossover stuff. Not gonna happen.
Yeah. But that is also my favorite use of Orbital Strike.
Using it from the future?
Yes. That beam came from the future.
Q did it.
Yeah, clearly. But yeah, that is the best use of Orbital Strike in the entire game. Just shooting a beam from your ship that is not even in this timeline.
You rerouted the command codes to hijack the phasers of one of the other ships to do it. Somewhere out there, the kid from Star Trek Borg's ship is just wondering what the hell's going on.
Yeah, yeah, because Q is also on that ship at the same time.
Well, no, that's the real Q.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
John Delancey Q.
it is.
That was a game.
That was quite
Well,
the game.
actually, technically
And
speaking, it was more like a movie, but that was a game.
but it was also a game. And John Delancey was certainly having his all
Oh
in
yeah,
that. Like he was
he was pretty impressive. I have
he
to
was
imagine the pitch for
pretty
that game was
marvelous.
like, "Hey John, you want to spend an hour and a half basically just talking down to the camera?" Sure.
Sure, why not? That sounds pretty great.
That was a good game. Well,
I,
was a
I
good
yeah,
it was a good movie. I have never actually played it. I've just basically watched the entire FMV sequence.
oh. I haven't even seen that, but I have seen a fair number of videos of it, and it looks pretty amazing.
You can I was able to find it on YouTube a while back. I don't know
Oh
if
yeah,
it's still
I'm sure I could if I really wanted to as well. I just haven't felt the need.
It's like I said, it's pretty amusing. It's actually not too bad of a story. It also helped to show
Yeah,
that Q liked to mess with people who weren't Picard, or later
yeah.
Janeway.
He just likes to mess with people.
Yeah.
All right, well, Q here was the only one who wants to see if we need a break or anything,
Actually,
and then he just
no. I say, actually,
he
give me a second because my inventory's full.
oh whoops, sorry.
That's okay. You hold them off.
And then he beams in these Borg, which actually has something that's very interesting for this set, because the Borg boss is a assimilated Jem'Hadar using the old style skin.
Now you will probably realize that this doesn't make sense.
That's right. This seems kind of weird. And I can't remember if it is actually explained.
It is.
Yeah,
Oh.
it is.
Crap! Did I just? I didn't mean
What just
to.
happened?
So if you go up to the window, you will see Q floating outside.
Yep. Hi, Q. You sent me back. My goodness. Hi, Q.
Yeah. Anyway, no, the explanation is, which I think we might have skipped over by accident. The Iconians basically wanted to kill Cisco in the past, and we had to stop him. So Q helped us stop that. Which is, again, Q being both a dick and very helpful at the exact same time, which is the best thing.
Yeah. And one thing I really like here is, so he's like, okay, you happy now? And he sort of flies away. We can't do anything. There we go. Well, what are you waiting for?
It's like, okay,
What is
kill the
everyone-
Q now.
What is everyone waiting for?
Of course, while we were in the past, my fighters decided to come home without me telling them
Yeah. While I'm here, so the tachyon inversion beam, which is the shield drain, yeah, that's just what that looks like. And yep, so now we just beat down this Borg cube. Nothing special here.
to. No, we've done this before.
Yeah.
Several times.
We have saved the day and history.
And the Cisco.
Yep.
So, now we can go.
Thanks, Q.
Bye, Dick.
Yeah, what a guy.
Less of a
What a
dick
jerk.
than Drake, but still a dick.
Yeah.
So,
Anyway.
in the most hilarious way to split up missions,
Oh, yes. So
now
what we're... Yep. So what we used to do... Um, first, I'm just gonna pick... Yeah, pick that. So what used to happen is that right after this, there used to be another set of missions, which basically did the other half of the this final storyline. Instead, Cryptic decided that they're going to put a break right here and have us go to do the um, this last featured episode series, which was actually the
I think it was the first.
second.
Second?
No, it wasn't the first. Yeah, Davidians were
Davidians?
first, I'm
Okay.
pretty sure. I think this was the second. That sounds about right. Uh, First or second, I'll just verify. Do this featured episode series decide to toss this right in the middle here instead of someplace a little bit more logical, like before the Deep Space Nine ones?
Or after the Deep Space Nine ones.
Well, I think it would be better before it would have been better to set this one before the. In fact, really, if I was designing the mission flow, I would have actually put this set where the Dominion one was, and then I put the Dominion set where this one is. Because, as I mentioned when we were doing the Dominion set, the story behind it implies that you are already doing this stuff that we're doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, what we are now going to go and help out the Deferi, which are a new race that the Federation and the Klingon Empire have started to come in contact with.
Yeah, at the start of that, the Dominion series with that little conference, the Deferi ambassador was the guy like going off about neutrality and all that crap.
Yeah.
Balance. They're a race of druids. In the D&D sense, not in like the historical sense.
And you could say something like that, yeah. Yeah, so they very much believe in neutrality, and don't really want to.
What does
be
it
a
take
big
to
part
turn a
of-
man neutral?
So they don't really want to be a big part of what's going on. But something's happening, and they need our help.
Should we spoil it? Because the series name kind of spoils what's the problem is, in a vague sense.
Yeah. Because it's... if we look here. The name of the series is The Breen Invasion.
For those of you who don't remember, the Breen are those aliens that look exactly like Princess Leia's bounty hunter disguise from Return of the Jedi.
Anyway, let us fly ourselves over to where Deferi space is.
Yeah, I just warped back to Earth space dock and taking it from there. Because it's basically you go to Deep Space Nine, then you go up.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, you could also get there from... not from here, but you can get there from the PvP map as well. So if you go to Eta Eridani, it's just attached to the side there as well.
Oh, well, that's handy.
But I mean,
Oh yeah, actually, yeah, that makes sense because Klingons can't go through Sirius until they get higher level, or
Yeah.
higher.
They need to get through Marauder so they can get access into this sector space, because this is considered the homeworld sector space, and Klingons can't normally get into here at all. Which is strange when you consider the enemy encounter, the random enemy encounter maps are against Klingons. So go figure.
Well, you're not a random enemy encounter. You're skilled, and you could, you going to Earth could actually have major repercussions of deciding to launch a few photon torpedoes at, say, San Francisco or France. Or where's that got blown up in Enterprise in that one season? The sphere.
I'm not sure. I don't think I saw that
I
one.
think that was Florida.
Poor Florida.
So you're like Florida or like Panama or something. Somewhere near the equator. I just passed a guy in the RRW Alt F4 for the win.
I got a John Shepard here in the USS Endeavour.
No, it's not bad.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're going to go the way to call yourself John Shepard,
Maybe he's not supposed to be that Shepard.
maybe.
What's wrong with naming yourself Shepard anyway?
Alright.
So I am in the DeFury sector.
Yeah, so am I.
Okay.
So we need to fly over here to the DeFera system.
Oh, I see you.
Yep.
Along with several other people.
Quite a few other people. This area is a little popular.
Okay. Here we go. I imagine a lot of people just kind of hang around here for the replays, too.
Yeah, possibly. Nope, there you are.
Yes.
We just need to escort this freighter now.
Yeah, I'm sure nothing bad will happen.
Yeah, nothing at all.
Well, I'm going to send up my fighters anyway, just so those pilots can know the joy of doing a fighter capital ship escort mission from, like, free space or something.
Yes. The ship is also going just a little bit faster than we are.
Vertically, you basically get to catch up with it if you go full impulse.
Oh no, you go way faster than if you go full impulse.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, I mean, like, turn on and off. I'll scout ahead.
Okay. Sounds good.
And send annoying voice status updates to my fighters.
Something weird's coming in.
What could it be?
Something that we can't target to shoot at.
Scan warp particles.
Yeah, my guy said was going to say something was probably just scan what he left behind. We can't quite figure out what that ship was.
They were using stealth.
Yeah,
Only we knew people who use stealth technology.
We know a lot of people who use stealth technology.
Yeah,
though.
except we could still see it.
Yeah.
God, way to be inefficient, brain. Why go stealth when you can go invisible?
Well, it just goes to show that we don't have windows.
That's very true.
Windows are inefficient.
We have transparent aluminum. So now we get scanned. They want to make sure we have no weapons or something.
So we're going to beam down to the surface and...
yeah, in a miraculous turn of events, we actually didn't get attacked.
Yeah, like we saw someone unusual, but clearly nothing about that at all.
Ignore the banging. Things are just falling over on my desk. Things that may or may not be transformers.
You should stop knocking your transformers over.
Not knocking it over. I had it in like a one-legged pose and fell over.
Right.
It's RC, shut up. They had her like kicking. Because motorcycles that turn to robots can do that.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what you were doing. Are you still loading in?
Yes.
Okay.
There, now it's in a two-legged pose and it's fine.
There you
So
are.
this is actually a fairly bustling city area. I can use guns again.
Yeah. Yeah, like this is actually a big area with a lot of people in it.
Yeah. Now I do find it amusing that like the city just sort of ends abruptly.
Yeah. Maybe it's not so much that this is a city area, but this is like a meeting area. Because yeah, it's kind of weird that.
I mean, it may just be how this culture's architecture actually worked. I don't remember these guys from the show at all, but
I think these guys were. I think these guys were new for STO.
Oh, okay.
There's a set of ruins over here, which were once used by the Preservers, which are some ancient race of aliens that the Deferi, well, not necessarily worship, but have very strong feelings. Yeah, they're very revered.
If I'm thinking this is the same race that showed up in an episode of the show that was basically made to explain why everyone looked humanoid. Whoops! Breen attack.
The Breen! Whoever saw this happening?
Damn bounty hunters.
Yeah.
Seriously, look at them. I'm surprised George Lucas didn't sue.
The Breen are a very, very annoying ground force to fight because one of their special abilities is throwing ice grenades around.
They just want you to chill out, man.
Yeah.
Probably other Space Force is annoying too for like a very similar reason.
The Space Force isn't too bad. I think I remember correctly, they like to abuse subnucleonic beam a lot.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to phaser strike this city.
It's fine.
Yeah, no,
There's just a bunch of boxes.
Yeah, it was a targeted beam.
Yeah.
You know, some sort of technobabble meant it didn't hit anyone important.
A quantum targeting phase flux refracting energy pulse.
Another thing I really like is that a lot of these Deferi don't seem all that concerned. Like, I mean, a lot of them are running around kind of worriedly, but then there's so many more. They're just like, whatever.
What we don't know is this is basically this planet's equivalent of like Marvel Comics in New York.
You know, this stuff just happens all the time.
Baxter Building gets launched into space. It's just Tuesday.
Yeah. It's probably just they're thinking, it's the balance.
Cosplay.
If this was anything bad, then it was meant to be.
Did I? Okay, no.
Did you what?
The dots are just kind of being kind of weird about whether or not they're actually alive or not.
Oh yeah.
Now, folks, what else is amusing is bases before we get here, the Breen are just kind of walking around.
Yeah, they don't really care.
It's like, what are we supposed to do doing?
Terrorize people.
Do we get paid by the hour here? What?
Another power that the Breen ground forces have, although it's usually only like their captain level and higher that have it, that's really annoying, is they shoot ice beams from their goggles. And
it's like Cyclops.
It's actually annoying because the beam does a shit ton of damage. Like, it is really dangerous. It doesn't have any secondary abilities. It just hurts. The ice grenades are super annoying because as you stand in the area, you get a stacking debuff, which not only deals more damage over time, but also slows you down over time.
Mm-hmm. So
it's very easy for you to end up getting stuck in it and dying because you can't get out.
Yes. And amusingly, or I should say fittingly, every mission in this series starts with the word cold.
Yeah. It's a nice naming touch that they didn't really continue for other featured series, but it was still a very appropriate touch. I enjoyed that they did that. Maybe this was the first one for that reason.
I remember hearing it was the first, but I could be off on that. I'm just meleeing them still just because I can.
I'm pretty sure it's the second, because I think the Davidians were the ones to the Davidian series was the one to set up the idea, and then in the Deferi one they started actually doing daily content, which they didn't do much of during the Davidian one. Like there is daily missions that are in the Davidian series, but the Deferi stuff is when they started like really doing. No, actually, I think this was the first one.
Okay.
Anyway, it will have already been annotated.
Probably. That's
so
on
one
you.
thing that's interesting here is that so this area. Oh, here you go. And this guy is taunting us about how the Breen has already attacked Earth, and they are.
Yeah, aren't you guys awesome? Screw you.
Yeah, come on. Whatever. This thing that we're standing on is important for a later mission in this set. But when... Oh, wow. See, it's like that. That really hurts.
Well, I'm fine. No, I'm not fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, this dude, Cyclops kind of kicking our asses there.
Yeah. So, that platform, the ruins, is part of a later mission. When the featured episode series first came out, though, Cryptic forgot to deactivate part of the event code that is actually part of that mission. So it was actually available in this mission, and people were able to complete the puzzle, so to speak, that the ruins have. It wouldn't do anything because it was part of the mission completion of the previous mission. Sorry, not of the previous, but the mission that hadn't come out yet. Yeah, so it was part of that, but it was still interesting, and so for a time, Cryptic allowed it to occur, and was actually giving people an achievement for completing it before that mission. I believe it is now no longer possible to do that, though. But we can try.
Do show. Say, I thought we killed them all.
Yeah.
Break the mortar. Dead mortar. Okay, so we've technically finished the mission. Can we do this thing?
I'm pretty sure it's been deactivated.
Let's see.
Because it's...
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything pop up.
Yeah, like it should be lighting.
Yeah, it's deactivated.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Oh well. Oh well.
Well, we've saved the day.
Yeah. So, beam back up to our ship. Oh, but the Breen are attacking the ship that the ambassador got on, so we better save him.
But we already escorted it. The mission should be over.
Well, we need to now save it and not escort it.
This isn't how these things are supposed to work.
Well, this is a different type of game. I mean, we're flying capital ships, not fighters.
That's true. Well, you know, there was Independence War, which I never really got into.
Yeah.
That was you flying like Corvette style stuff.
Yeah. the one of the new missions that was added in season 8 is amazing.
The breach.
It is the breach is amazing. It is your ships. So you are flying your normal scale ships, and the mission is to attack a gigantic Voth fortress ship. And you attack the fortress ship by having your ships fly alongside the trenches of the fortress ship and attack weak points in the hull structure and blow up shield generators along the hull in order to weaken the hull enough that you can blow a hole in the side of it in order to get inside and assault it from the inside. That mission is so great.
And you have to hit a exhaust port 2 meters wide.
You don't quite have to, but oh man. Yeah, that mission is pretty great. It is one of the best queued missions in this game. And when I was hearing it being described on the Cryptic website, I was thinking, man, that sounds super awesome. But
you were right.
And I turned out to be right, but I remember hearing, when I saw the description of atmospheric assault, that also sounded really awesome, but that mission turned out to be bad.
So now he wants to meet us face to face in our observation lounge. I don't know whose observation lounge, but
It probably doesn't matter. It's the same lounge.
I have
Clearly mine because...
Oh, no, I don't.
So this is not the first time that the Breen have attacked the Deferi. He just didn't want to tell us.
Because it wouldn't be balanced or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can ask him a bunch of questions.
You can, ask them, like, why do the Breen want those ruins? And it's probably because they want access to the preservers.
Or their stuff.
And it was like, why? What's so important about the balance? Well, because you can't have one side be more than the other.
Yes. I got my 15 Lobi from that. Excellent.
Yay!
I didn't last time we did a series mission.
Yeah. Anyway, let's beam back to my ship that I'm already on.
No, see, we're on my ship. No,
well,
no, hey, you're on my ship and I'm on your ship at the same time, somehow.
Yeah.
Wibbly wobbly, timey wimey.
Alright, so we will receive these bonuses. In fact, I'm going to receive the set piece.
Yeah, I'll grab the set piece too, even though I'm using the Geometer one.
Yeah. But the next mission is a little lengthy, and we are... yeah, we'll just call this here. But
indecision.
Yeah. Well, it's short in terms of how long we've normally been running, but still long in terms of how long a lot of series tends to have updates, which, yeah.
Fortunately, the one after that can be done quite literally like 5 minutes.
Yeah, the next episode is probably going to be pretty short. Well, we'll see when we actually start running it, because the next 2 missions are a little on the short side, which is fine because I think that they are also some of the best missions in this set. But that will be it for us for this week. Well, thank you all for watching, and like I mentioned earlier at the beginning of this episode, we're looking for what you guys, the viewers, think we should do once we finish with the Federation story, because we're actually coming up towards the end of it. It's probably only going to be a few more weeks before we finish off the last of the Federation missions.
Yeah, like 3 or 4.
Yeah, 3 or 4 is what we're currently looking at, barring
Done in
anything
time
happening.
for Christmas.
So, do you guys think we should go and start doing, showing off the endgame content, or should we just go right on to the next faction? Certainly let us know, and we'll see you all next time.
Bye, everybody.